Hi everyone, I'm going to start a new book. It's called The Viking Adventure by Clyde Robert Bula. It was written in 1963. Here's the inside cover if you need to see the inside cover. It was a weekly reader children's book club presentation. It's probably for around third graders to somewhere in there for reading. So here we are. First off, we're going to read Olaf the Strong. Long ago, the land of Norway was a Viking land. The sea about it was a Viking sea. They were a bold, brave people, the Vikings. The sea was their road to adventure. And they loved it, but they loved the land as well. Olaf the Strong loved both sea and land. Once he had sailed in Viking ships, he had fought in far-off places. Then a wound had put an end to his fighting days. He had come home to his farm in the south of Norway. Olaf took a wife, and children were born to them. The first two children were daughters. Their names were Helga and Erna. The last child was a son. His name was Sigurd. The mother taught the daughters. She taught them to cook and make cloth and sew. The father taught the son. When Sigurd was 3, Olaf said, "It is time you learn to swim." He took the boy down to the sea. He threw him into the water. The sea was cold. The water was deep. Sigurd sank and came up and almost sank again. "Swim," said his father. Sigurd pushed with both hands. Can you push? Pushed with both hands. He kicked as hard as he could with his feet, and he began to swim. His father pulled him out of the water. "Now you see how it is done," he said. "Next time you will do better." As soon as Sigurd could swim and dive, he learned to ride horseback. He learned to throw a spear and shoot a bow and arrow. "You must be strong," said his father. On Olaf's farm, there were 3 houses and 3 barns. He and his family lived in the biggest house. Servants lived in the other 2. The barns were for horses, cattle, and sheep. So here's a picture of the housing complex where they lived. See that tree in the middle? That'll be important in a minute. Okay. The houses and barns were built together like a small square town. In the middle was a square of grass, and a tall ash tree grew there. Olaf tied a rope to a branch of the ash tree. Every day he told Sigurd to climb the rope. So here's the tree, and you see the rope, and Sigurd is climbing it. That's the tree that was in the middle of the complex. It's that tree. Now, why do you think he has him climbing it? Well, every day, we'll see in a minute, every day his father told him to run. Sigurd ran around and around the square. He ran until he was tired. Sometimes Olaf told him to jump off the roof of the house. The first time Sigurd looked down from the roof, he said, "It is too far." "You must not be afraid," said his father. "Land with your head and arms forward now." Sigurd jumped. He landed as his father had told him to do. "See," said Olaf. "Was it too far?" Sigurd stood up. He was not hurt. "No," he said, "it was not too far." After that, he never feared to jump off the roof. But as he grew older, he began to ask himself questions. Why must there be so many lessons? Why must he leave his warm bed in the morning to run around the square? Why was there so little time for him to play games with his sisters? One day, his father was teaching him to fight in battle. Olaf had a small sword and shield made for Sigurd. Sigurd was learning to use them. "Draw your sword! Charge!" His father said over and over. The day was warm. The lesson had gone on for a long time. Olaf looked into his boy's hot face. "Rest," he said. Sigurd was so surprised he almost let his sword fall. His father had never told him to rest before. "The lessons are hard," said Olaf, "and you cannot see why there must be so many. Is that not so?" Sigurd said nothing. "Someday you will see," said his father. That was Olaf the Strong. More coming in the next video. Bye-bye now.